Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Brendan Lane. He has just shared his newest single titled Fame Falls Away, and I am super excited to talk to him all about it. Brendan, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. I didn't mention it before, but I love your background. I mean, I assume that you're outside on a patio and it's not just a CGI
No, no, no. Yeah,
background.
it's my screened-in back porch. It's my favorite room in the house. It's
Yeah,
very beautiful out here.
that's incredible. What's the weather like over there right now?
80 and sunny, blue
Oh, all
skies
right.
with some like good cloud gazing clouds today.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah,
Pretty
very,
much
very.
the ideal day to be outside. Awesome, man. Well, like I said, I'm super excited to have you on and to talk all about this song. First thing that I really want to know about is I want to speak on the lyrics on the track. I really want to hear from you what the overarching message is. What is the song all about? What does it mean to you?
When I was in high school, I had some really close friends, and we had like an awesome nucleus, and it was one of those blood. The bond is thicker than the blood was kind of our mentality.
Sure.
And as we grew up and kind of grew apart as you do, we still were able to keep in contact with each other. But I always looked back on those days of just getting into trouble, not really giving a care about the rules or what anyone told us we had to do or where we needed to be or anything like that. We were just on our own agenda and having a good time and loving every second of it. And obviously, in that friend group and at that time, we all had ambitions of what the next 20, 30 years were going to be and where we were
Sure.
going to be in our lives. And obviously, seeing our name in lights was a common theme and a common dream that we shared. So that's where the idea from the song came from, was looking back on those times, like those promises we made to each other. And I do know if I called those guys up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and said, "Hey, I need you here," without a second's hesitation, they would be by my side. So
That's
it
the
doesn't
best
matter
kind of
like where
friend.
we are in the world, kind of like, and I feel like everyone has those friends, or at least they identify with that feeling in some way.
Absolutely. While it may not be a friend, it's either just a close person in their life, friend or family that you need to rely on. And I completely understand that. I just, I feel bad for those that don't have that person in their life. But
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have that person or to have that something that you can fall back on is really nice. And obviously that deserves, to have a song written about it
I
because
thought so.
too many love songs out there, too many breakup songs out
Yeah,
there.
it's too many break. We
What
need
about the
some
friend?
positivity in the world right now.
Totally. I love that. Let's talk about the production side of things. So,
Sure.
I want to know, how did the song all come together? Did you have any outside help? And really just like, sounds great. So,
Thank
how
you.
did it
Thank you.
happen?
It was produced by Chris Jennings, who I
Okay.
met in the summer of 2020. I was living down at the beach and I was working as a bouncer at a bar. And
Mhm.
obviously, being a bouncer at a bar in a pandemic had
For a
way
minute.
more rules and restrictions, and so it
Yeah.
was it was stressful. And he was in a band that was playing, and so he was out front just chilling and sympathizing with me and my role that
Yeah.
night. He'd kind of seen a couple of assholes, I think
Yeah.
is the
Yep. That
appropriate
is
word, come
100% the
in and
word.
give me a hard time, and I had to give them a hard time back. So we got to talking about music and created a really good connection. And I told him I'd had the song
Mhm.
and I'd sent him a demo of it, just something I did in my bedroom, and he loved it. He was saying like, "Man, I could hear, we could have this line on it, and I got a buddy who would do like a great rap bridge, like a hip hop bridge, and we could bring that feel in." And I was like, "Dude, let's make it happen." So I think back in the springtime, we finally were able to get together and just hash out all our ideas, and it was such a fun process because Chris is that dude who doesn't say no. It's any idea that comes out, let's try it. He doesn't shoot it down right away, which I love. I really thrive in that kind of environment. So for him to just be so open to all my wacky ideas was great. And then we had Questmark come in and do that third verse on the song, and that really took it to a whole other level because then we had this new genre of music
Right.
to adapt elements from and put that in the percussion and the bass lines and how we can like mix the song differently because we had this new element that I'd never worked with before. So it was really fun to just kind of be a fly on the wall while they worked together and just learn.
Exactly.
It was, yeah, and just learn from that experience.
No, that's amazing. I actually want to touch on a couple points that you just brought up. More on like having that person as the producer to be your other half. I don't think a lot of people understand that, when someone, or at least like a solo person who puts out a song, they're not always the ones doing it themselves. And to have the other half of your brain kind of like fill in those sentences for you and fill in those gaps, that's a person that you need to keep close. That's a
Yeah,
person who, like, once you vibe with them or they kind of understand what you're trying to accomplish, you got to hold them close because
totally,
yeah,
totally.
especially when it sounds good. And then the second thing is, the thing that I've enjoyed about your music as a whole, not just on this song, is that you're not just keeping yourself to one idea. You're open to everything. You're open to experimentation. It's not just listening to a country song or a pop song. It's just this perfect blend of whatever makes you feel good, and like the happiness in the song comes through, which is great as well.
Thank you very much. Quentin Tarantino said, "If you love movies enough, you can make a damn good one." And I think the same
Right?
applies to music. You know, if
Absolutely.
every song I make, I have to make sure that it makes me feel good first.
Hmm.
Because if it makes me feel good, chances that it makes someone else feel good are probably pretty high.
Totally. And as a music listener, we can always tell if someone's having a good
Oh
time
yeah,
while they're making the song. Also, the fact that you're the one putting your time and energy and resources into making something, if you're not the one loving every second of it,
I
then
know,
what the
right,
hell's
right.
the point? Like, you're gonna listen to your own music. You're like, yeah, this would be good maybe, like 10 years ago when it's something that I liked, but gotta make it
Yeah,
for the now.
right, right.
Um,
It's about staying in the moment.
yeah, and obviously I want to keep the focus on the song, but I also want to look a little bit towards the future. My question for you here is, do you plan to keep on experimenting? Do you plan on keeping, to try new things and expand your sound further?
Of course, of course. I think the key to longevity in the music business is an insatiable curiosity.
Right.
Always wanting to. 'Cause that's, I mean, that's the amazing thing about music. Is like
Right.
as we know it, it has all these little elements, but the possibility of combinations of those elements are infinite.
Totally.
So I would love to expand into new genres and new instrumentations and all that. Like I feel like I my whole life I have had these resources at my disposal, but I didn't realize it until later in life. And I was like, oh shoot, why didn't I take advantage of that when it was around? So I think the next several years of my life I want to dedicate to not missing those opportunities when they do come along.
Totally. So, when it comes to the actual process of making music, are you one of those people that, I suppose, tries to shy away from listening to music while making music, as to not like kind of infuse too much from what you're listening to into what you're making?
That's a really good question. I know people who do that, like when they're
Hmm.
in the studio. I've never really thought about it.
Okay.
In fact, I have thought about it, and I would do the opposite of what my friends do. I would purposely listen to music that I like, or new things that just come out.
Yeah.
That I remember when I have a song that's called Magic,
Hmm.
and when we were recording that on the drive to the studio, the 1975 had just released their latest album, and
Yeah.
so I remember listening. I was like, I'm gonna listen to this and see if there's anything I like, and then I can bring it to the producer I was working with. It was a different guy. His name is Austin. If I was anything I would like, I would bring it to Austin and be like, "Yo, we should incorporate this into the song somehow."
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Um, so I like that. I like if it's something that stands out to me and that makes me kind of jump out of my seat or gives me goosebumps. I want to try and not copy it, but use
It's like
that in that
emulate that feeling. Try to
exactly. That's
capture what
perfect.
capturing what you enjoyed the most about it,
Mhm.
and then putting that Brendan Lane touch on it. So I totally get it. And that actually sort of brings me to my next thing here, especially because you've got so many genres floating around in your music. I want to know what you listen to on a normal basis. Like, what inspires you? What did your parents have on in the car growing up? Like, what urged you to start making and listening?
My father's a jazz musician. He's a piano
Oh,
player.
okay.
He's incredible. So
That's
growing up,
awesome.
it was Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, a lot of classic. We had a lot of classical in the house, but also because he grew up in the '70s, so he had a lot of Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, Chicago. Um, and then my mom, she's not musical per se, but she loved to listen to music. The joke was always my dad plays the piano, I play the guitar, and mom plays the radio.
That's really funny. Yeah, I'm in the
She
same in
loved
my
like,
family
yeah,
actually.
right, right.
Same thing.
And she would listen to U2 and The Who
Mm,
and all Eric Clapton and stuff like that. So it was a really diverse palette growing up. And then obviously I was discovering music on my own. So I
yeah.
got into Jack Johnson,
Okay.
John Mayer, a lot of those singer-songwriter
Sure.
guitar players. But I think of everything that inspires me and has inspired me, the Beatles are number one above everyone else,
Mhm.
truly. Like I think that's the reason why I wanted to write songs. Hearing John Lennon for the first time and
Yeah,
being like, wow, I can do that too.
that's awesome. Okay, so then in this case, well, first off, how long have you been making music for?
I feel like that's kind of like a loaded question because I was taking classes at like 3 years
Well,
old.
how about this? How about like when did you put out your first official single? Like what was the thing that put you over the edge to be like, I'm going to write, record, and release a song under my name?
Got you, got you. I started, I guess, 10 years now. I've been doing this
Wow, okay.
professionally
Sure.
of writing music and performing live. Didn't release my first single on Spotify or any of that until 2018
Okay, got it.
because I had a lot of bumps to smooth over
Sure.
before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I saw myself at that point. You know, I had to break through a couple of different plateaus to get there, including being comfortable in a recording studio setting. I
Yeah.
feel like that's such a daunting thing when you're 17, 18, 19 years old. And
Yeah,
yeah, you still have lots of insecurities about your own craft. And then when
totally.
you're in the studio and they're all just laid bare in front of you, it can be
You're like,
crippling at times. But
okay, like I'm paying a lot of money to be here right now. I need to get
exactly.
my shit together. Get that.
But there are people who would tuck their tail between their legs and run away. But I use those opportunities to learn and grow. And so when
Yes.
those first singles did come out and they were self-produced and I
Yes.
wrote it myself and all, like I was proud of it. Going back to that thing of I could listen to those songs when it was all said and done before I released it, and I was like, yes, this is something that I'm proud to put my name on and send out into the world because I know it's gonna touch people, and I feel like it has. Those songs have. It's great. It's a really good.
Totally. No, no, you'll never grow if you never put yourself in uncomfortable situations. If you stay in that same lane and you go with whatever is okay with you, then there's no growth as a person.
Exactly.
And the
Or the
worst
art.
thing that happens is you get a great story out of it, no matter if it's embarrassing or not. So,
Right. Right.
I want to speak a little bit more about your actual process as a musician. I know it's different for everyone. For some, it's like, I thought of this lyric while I was, in the shower or something like that. Or I was noodling around on the guitar and I came up with this riff. Is it always different from you, or do you sit down and actively try to write a song?
Hmm. It varies depending on the song.
Got it.
Sometimes it can like it's that lightning bolt and it hits you and you
Yeah.
got to get it out. With Fame Falls Away, um, a lot. I guess if I think about it, a lot of my songs kind of happen like this, where I'll write the lyrics separately and then I'll write the music separately, and then there'll
Sure.
be this kind of marriage of the two in another, on another day. So
Okay.
I'll write. One day I think I watched a movie called Killing Bono, and there's a line in it where the one character is saying to Bono, there's like a childhood friend saying to Bono, is like, well, when fame falls away, who's gonna be there? So that's where that I was like,
I like
aha,
that.
that's something there, and kind of wrote the lyrics as a poem out around that theme,
Hmm.
and then I had the guitar part from listening to a friend of mine's music. So there's
Oh,
a
cool.
tie into like I wanted to write a song kind of that was like what he was doing because it was just making me dance every time I listened to it.
Sure.
I need to be able to do that.
That's the highest of compliments to your friend.
I hope he sees this and hears it.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
text him and let him know
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I um and one day I came home from hanging out with those friends, so I was feeling some sort of way,
Sure.
and and kind of playing that guitar riff, and then I thought, oh, that would sound great with those. Yes, and then the
There
clouds
you
opened up,
go.
and it all
The
kind of
song
happened.
was written.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So, okay, so now that you've been doing this for quite a while now and you've gone, from the writing process to the recording to being in the studio and ultimately promoting the music itself, is there a single part of the entire process that you enjoy the most or that you look forward to the most?
I love writing music. The
Okay.
creating something out of nothing
Right.
feels divine to me. I think that is like a true divine act to make something out of
Hmm.
nothing,
I
especially
agree.
something that has the potential to be as powerful and life changing as a song. I
I
love
fully
that.
agree. I think it kind of like transcends music as a whole and just art in general.
Yeah.
Like even art that is, I mean, well, all art is subjective. You can, throw paint at a canvas and say, "Look at my masterpiece," but it really is up to the listener or the person that's viewing it. And I think that is really what's so beautiful about art and music in general is
Yeah.
what you may think sucks, someone else may, maybe their favorite song of all time. So,
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right.
that's pretty
And I
nice.
have a lot of artists that I hate who a lot of people love. So
Sure. The great debate of who
yeah.
sucks and who's great. So you had mentioned before that you've been out there playing shows. Is that correct? Do you have
Yeah.
anything coming up that you'd like to promote or really get out there? I feel like these songs translate really well in a live setting, so I'm sure that
Thank you. Thank you. I
yeah.
try and write a lot of my songs to be played live.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I think I really shine the most. Um, the gig schedule is kind of winding down now. I'm kind of going into the writing recording mode
Cool.
of the cycle. We had a whole East Coast tour this summer, playing everywhere from Texas all the way up to Massachusetts.
Damn.
Um, Everyone was so cool. It was great to meet new people. When Fame Falls Away comes out, we're going to be celebrating. We're doing a show in the Philadelphia area
Cool.
at Grain, so that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to
Nice.
be on October 15th.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so then hypothetically speaking, what does the next year of your life look like in terms of more music, more touring, just, kind of an open-ended look?
Yeah. I'm gonna spend this fall, winter writing, recording, and releasing. I have some more
Nice.
songs in the pipeline ready to come out, so that I'm really excited to let those out into the world because we've been focusing on them for quite some time now,
Sure.
and really making sure that they're ready, right, ready to pop, and that's really exciting. So then I'll also booking shows and hopefully playing in those bigger market areas again so we
Yeah.
can continue reaching the people that we met in the past and they can bring their friends out and get and see what it's all about.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like touring now is it's so difficult because everyone's trying to get a spot
Yeah.
anywhere and venues that aren't necessarily concert venues are just hosting musicians just to get out there, which is awesome.
Right.
So I feel like anything you can get, any practice that you can get in and getting out there is just like the best thing possible.
Totally. And people have been so appreciative and
Yes.
grateful for live music in these
I
settings.
fully agree.
I almost thank the pandemic
To-
for
in a
really
way,
showing people like how important live entertainment is.
I fully agree. I think that it's almost revitalized the industry in a way that people aren't taking shows for granted anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I this past week I so like I said, I'm in Los Angeles and a
Yep.
lot of all of the major tours have started up like at the beginning of October, and so I went to like three concerts this past week, which was
So cool.
I can't even explain to you how amazing just the vibe and the energy and everyone
Yeah.
was so respectful and just you could like and kind of comparing it to 2 years ago when you go to a show on a Friday and people were generally pretty chill, depending on who was playing. But even like no name bands, people are just losing their minds, just
Right.
happy to be out and having a good time, and just the smiles on the band's faces. You can be like they were loving it as much as
And when
I
that
was.
feeling is in the room and it's kind of
Absolutely.
ping ponging between the
Oh
audience
yeah,
and the band, that's when the magic happens,
it's
man. That's
infectious.
yeah,
It's really
yeah.
great.
That's when lives are changed.
Totally. So I want to know, because we're a music blog, we're always trying to promote independent music. What are you currently listening to? Are there any local bands that we should keep an eye on, and any even like friends that are also doing big things that you'd like to, shout out?
Yeah, totally. Local bands from the Annapolis area. There's Pressing Strings.
Okay, cool name.
They just played at Firefly Music Festival in Dover.
Nice.
So that was a really cool like hometown band
Yeah,
up
yeah,
on the
yeah.
big festival circuit. Um, One of my close friends, Lucas Day, he's from Australia. We both worked together on Carnival Cruise Lines a few years back,
Nice.
and we worked very closely, as you do in that setting. You get
Oh
very
yeah. Oh
build
yeah.
strong bonds with people very quickly. And he's releasing some great stuff down under. And I hope it makes waves, excuse me, to get over here. But it's yeah, he's on his own continent, so he's
That's
rocking and
tough.
rolling there. But he would be a great feature because he's a cool dude to talk to.
That's awesome. Cool,
Yeah.
man. I'll definitely keep an eye out. All right, Brendan, I've got one more question for you at this point,
All right.
and it's how I like to sort of wrap things up. Is okay. So the question is for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that is going to listen to your music for the first time, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them as they kind of dig into you, for the first time?
I make music because it has changed my life for the better. And I want my music to touch you and change your life for the better too, because it's a damn good feeling.
That's a fantastic answer. You've convinced me. I'm in.
And welcome to the circus. That's I make music for
Yeah,
the kids
there you
who can't
go.
afford the circus, you know?
There you go. Awesome, Brendan. Thank you so much, man. This has been great. For everyone else
Thanks
out
for having me.
there,
It was great talking with you.
yeah, man. Fame Falls Away will be out by the time that this comes out. Listen to it, stream it, follow along with Brendan Lane. You can't go wrong. He's making great music, not just on this song, but as a whole. And again, thank you so much, man. I really look forward to speaking soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You as well. Let's talk soon, dude.
All right, man. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.